Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to This Date in History, AKTDH. I, of course, am A.O. Xander. You, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us. We are currently being joined by the Golden Loon. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Yeah, today is, of course, Sun's Day, aka Sunday. March 22nd, 2026. I almost said January for whatever reason.
Don't go backwards.
No. Anyway, the show is about interesting and important events that occurred today. There are the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 106, start of the Bostron era, the calendar of the province of Arabia Petraea. Okay, that's cool. 235, Roman Emperor Severus Alexander was murdered, marking the start of the crisis of the 3rd century. That would do it. Actually, no, I'm not reading that one. 1349, Black Death Massacre, here we go. Townspeople of Fulda, Landgraviate of Hesse massacred Jews, blaming them for the Black Death, part of a wave of pogroms across Western Europe. You know, like, we've covered this, 75 times in the past week now? Like,
a bunch.
You know, not every ass king falls out of the sky. You know, like, but for some reason, when it comes to, you know, like, one people in the whole world, we just can't talk anything about them unless it's positive for some reason. 1387, Vilnius was granted a city charter by Jogaila, King of Poland, allowing it to be self-governing. That's cool.
Yeah.
1508, Ferdinand II of Aragon commissioned Amerigo Vespucci, chief navigator of the Spanish Empire. Now, I mentioned that guy's name before, but do you remember by chance why this guy is so important, Amerigo Vespucci?
No.
He is the guy whose namesake made America. The two continents of North and South America are named after Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo, America.
Oh, okay.
They're named after him. He was that renowned.
Wow.
I don't know anything about him other than that.
Wow,
but,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so, you know, if you refer to, like, you know, North America, South America, the American continents, United States, whatever, you know, it's of Amerigo, of America.
Huh.
Yeah. 1565, Turkish Armada left Constantinople bound for the siege of Malta with about 193 ships. That's a lot. Like,
it is.
Yeah. 1621, Dutch jurist Hugo Grotius escaped in a book chest from Loevestein Castle in the Netherlands. We're not there yet. Okay. And I wanted to. I'm just going to do an image search really quick. There's no real good images of this. But I guess in this case it pays that people were illiterate. He escaped in a book chest. Here's an image of it right here. There's not many good images. But you see here he is like coming out of the book chest or getting loaded in.
Looked like a coffin, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1621.
That's a rendition.
Yeah. 1621 as well. The Pilgrims of Plymouth Colony signed a peace treaty with Massiot of the Wampanoags. The Pilgrims of the Plymouth Colony, led by Governor John Carver, signed a peace treaty with Massiot. Senchim of the Wampanoags. Squanto served as an interpreter between the two sides. Well, that's a name that we all know about, Squanto.
Yeah.
1622, first American Indian, a Powhatan massacre of Europeans around Jamestown, Virginia. 347 whites were killed.
Wow.
Yeah. So, massacre of Europeans. So that's when they killed us. So, Algonquins killed 347 English settlers around Jamestown, Virginia, a third of the colony's population, during the Second Anglo-Powhatan War. Well,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's their land. You know, they have every right to defend it.
Yeah, you moved in.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you expect?
Yeah. 1630, first colonial legislation prohibiting gambling was enacted in Boston. It's telling me to image search this. From the other source, it says the Massachusetts Bay Colony outlawed the possession of cards, dice, and gaming tables in 1631. So I'm wondering if that's connected, because Boston is in Massachusetts.
Yes.
And these are two articles 1 year apart, and they both have something to do with gambling.
Yeah.
So I wonder, you know, if that 1 year later, you know, exactly. Come on, there we go. Let's see here, right here. Virginia in 1639, the first law to exclude blacks from normal protections by the government was enacted. That's horrible. Maryland in 1664, the first colonial law about the mixing of races. Virginia 1667. Well, I mean,
A law against mixing of races?
About.
Oh, well,
Just
I
maybe-
interpret that as, okay, go ahead.
Well, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. It's just we don't know. It's ambiguous. And these are just colonial laws. So,
Yeah.
Virginia in 1667, Christian baptisms would no longer affect the bondage of blacks or Indians, preventing enslaved workers from improving their legal status by changing their religion. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Virginia 1682, a law establishing the racial distinction between servants and slaves was enacted. Wow.
Wow.
1691, Virginia law declared that any white man or woman who married a black, mulatto, or Indian would be banished from the colony forever. Good Lord.
Eesh.
So I'm going to take this second ambiguous law, that is a bad thing, because this
That's
is
the way
all
I did, yeah.
this is all horrible. That's horrible. 1638, religious dissident Anne Hutchinson was expelled from the Massachusetts Bay Colony for religious dissent. So, they even got rid of their own. I mean,
big time, yeah.
we're all humans, so we're all our own, but
Yeah. No, when it came to religion, no,
Yeah.
don't screw with them.
1668,
You're gone.
yeah, notable privateer Henry Morgan landed in Cuba to raid and plunder the inland town of Puerto del Principe during the latter stages of the Anglo-Spanish War, which lasted from 1654 to 1660. Now, this is 8 years after that, so what the heck?
Remember his name, Henry Morgan, in history.
It was Captain Morgan,
No, well, maybe that's not.
the alcohol. That's what his name
no,
happened.
yeah, but I'm not thinking. Yeah, well, maybe
It's the same
maybe
guy.
I'm thinking of, okay.
No, Henry Morgan,
Yeah,
you're also
yeah,
probably
okay.
thinking of Henry Morgan Stanley, which is somebody else.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's telling me to explain piracy. Like, do you know what piracy actually was?
No, tell me.
It was actually like privateers and buccaneers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They were essentially mercenaries. So like during all of the wars and like with all the colonies in the Americas and all that stuff, Spain, France, and Britain, were always at each other's throats.
Mm-hmm.
They hired pirates, privateers, to go raid their enemy's ships and everything, and then they can keep whatever as long as they're hurting their enemy, they don't care what they do with them.
Yeah.
So for the most part, pirates were not just these random ass swashbuckling people just out there having an adventure. They were hired servant. They were soldiers.
Hired hands.
Yeah, they were soldiers for hire, mercenaries essentially.
Yeah.
For the most part, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
1739, Nader Shah occupied Delhi in India and sacked the city, stealing the jewels of the Peacock Throne. We spoke about that yesterday. 1764, Dutch Expeditionary Corps launched an attack on slave armies and settlements during the Bernice Rebellion in modern Guyana, the first major slave rebellion in South America. Good. Fight for your rights. Fight for your freedoms.
Yeah.
Freedom isn't free. So, 1765, first direct British tax on American colonists, the Stamp Act, was passed by the British Parliament led by Prime Minister George Gainesville. So it says here the Stamp Act was the Stamp Act was passed, the first direct British tax on American colonists, organized by Prime Minister George Gainesville, primary source edited, and
Piss the colonies off.
yeah, it was introduced a tax to be levied directly on its American colonies. Yeah. 1775, British Member of Parliament Edmund Burke made a speech to the English Parliament advocating for peace with the American colonies. Too little, too late. 1782, Pope Pius VI arrived in Vienna to meet with Holy Roman Emperor Joseph II to address his ecclesiastical reforms. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of that article really quick. I want to know if there's anything of notes. Okay, this is just telling me about Pope Pius. And okay, so this is going to send me down an iceberg, which I don't have the time to do. 1784, the Emerald Buddha was moved with great ceremony to its current place in Wat Phra Kaeo in Thailand, and this is it right here, the Emerald Buddha.
Wow.
That looks awesome.
No kidding.
Yeah, and I find Buddhism is such an interesting religion because it's supposed to be something it's all about not having anything. It's all about loving nature, right? Like being spiritually connected,
Yeah.
not materialistic.
Yeah.
Well, what the hell is all this gold? The Buddhists have lost their way. At least those ones
it's
have.
not so much. It's in the moment.
But I mean, they
That's easy to say. Very hard to do. To find that point where you're in the
Enlightenment.
absolute present, not in the past, not in the future.
yeah, just
And
be
that's
in the now.
what the
Oh.
ultimate goal of a Buddhist is.
And another thing
is
I
to
read,
hit that nirvana.
and I may be all wet with this, but they revere Buddha, the big fat guy,
Yeah.
as a god or whatever, and he said he wasn't.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know that much about Buddhism, but what little I do know, there's a lot of contradictions, and that's not good. 1785, the Dutch Republic leader Quint Onderdage, at the age of 26, I believe, demanded democracy in a speech at Utrecht City Hall. Okay. 1790, Thomas Jefferson became the first U.S. Secretary of State under President Washington. 1792, Battle of Croix de Beauquet, black slave insurgents gained a victory in the first major battle of the Haitian Revolution. 1794, Congress banned U.S. vessels from supplying slaves to other countries. The Slave Trade Act of 1794 banned the export of slaves from the United States and prohibited U.S. citizens from outfitting a ship for the purpose of importing slaves. So we're cutting it off at the head, and then now we got to deal with the body. 1822, New York Horticultural Society was founded. Just thought that was pretty cool. 1829, the three protecting powers, Britain, France, and Russia, established the borders of Greece. In the London Protocol, the three protecting powers established the borders of Greece. I say all of Macedon belongs to Greece. You know? So, but other than that, there's, it wanted me to image search this because there's things to read here. Oh, here we go. Triple Entente, Britain, France, and Russia. The Triple Alliance became known as Central Powers. Wait a minute. No, this is World War... Wait, no, this is something else. Germany, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, Ottoman Empire. Italy did not initially join the war. Said treaty was mutual defense. Eventually, 31 nations joined the war. But this sounds like World War I. Like...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so you know it is. Triple Entente.
Okay.
Well, like the Central Powers...
Yeah.
Were what, you know, Germany, Austria-Hungary, Bulgaria, and Ottoman Empire. That's World War I. Why is it telling me about World War I when I'm hundreds of years before, 100 years, roughly? Huh. Okay, well, that's weird. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1832, British Parliament, led by Charles Grey, passed the Reform Act, introducing wide-ranging changes to the electoral system of England and Wales. Why am I over there? Increasing the electorate from about 500,000 voters to 813,000.
Whoa.
Whoa! 313,000 extra people are able to vote. That's substantial.
Well, you know, to qualify to be a voter in this country originally, you had to be
a landowner.
A male and landowner.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily you had to be a male, because there were several female. It was being a landowner.
And they could vote. The women could vote.
I believe initially they could, and then they took it away. I'm not sure.
Okay, well maybe you're right.
But like, you know what? Let's see.
That's something to look at later.
Could female landowners vote in early U.S. history? Let's see if timeline of voting rights. Well, that's going to be a whole thing. The first generation is 1776 of women voters, 1776 to 1807. Okay, what is this? Yada yada yada. Timeline in America did not begin until 1848. Rather, it can be tracked back to the 18th century during the years of the Revolutionary War. That they can win the ideal empowerment of the American Revolution. Here we go. When the ideological promises of the American Revolution provided women, typically white women of means, new political and economic opportunities, and while the revolution did not eliminate restrictions on women's legal protection or rights to property ownership under marriage, it did create new possibilities for women's political activism. Now, I'm going to add this in the underbar section just for anybody to continue reading. Women's voting rights, question mark. Alright, so let me put that in there. What else do we got here? Yeah, and please let us know, you know, am I right or am I wrong what I said about you know, women landowners? Like, anyway, 1841, a method for alkali starch extraction was patented in the U.S. by Orlando Jones, which was later applied to corn for cornstarch. So here we go, you know, the creation of cornstarch. It's telling me to image search this, and I think it's just an image of, oh yeah, this is just all the different processes and everything, a whole bunch of stuff, like how it's done. Washed, peeled and cut, crushed and sedimented, removed of fiber excess by sifted, performed 5 washes, second sifted, dried at 55 degrees Celsius by 5 hours, then wild akira starch. That's how you make these this cornstarch. That's interesting. 1861, the first U.S. nursing school was chartered. 1 year after that, we have San Marino in Italy concluded a treaty of friendship and cooperation.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. 1865, Wilson's raid, 13,480 cavalry troops led by Union General James H. Wilson destroyed most of Confederate Alabama and Georgia's arms manufacturing and rail capabilities. The raid lasted through mid-April. It's telling me to image search this, so I'm going to do that. That is devastating. Let's see, what does this say? Wilson's raid. He defeated Confederate troops in Selma. As he was moving to raid Montgomery, Wilson heard of the Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered. The surrender was signed at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia on April 9th, 1865. Okay, so February, March, April. Okay, so the war only has a few more weeks, the Civil War, from this point on. 1870, Ohio State University was established as the Ohio Agricultural and Mechanical College, okay, a public land grant college in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, I know it's in Columbus.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just said Ohio 3 times in this. 1871, William Holden of North Carolina became the first governor removed by impeachment. Good. Well, not good, but whatever. I don't know. 1872, Illinois became the first state to require sexual equality in employment. So all of this equal rights, all of this stuff that people are still banging drums about, today, it's been going on for well over 100 years. So, 1873, slavery was abolished in Puerto Rico. This is now celebrated as Emancipation Day. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. 1874, Young Men's Hebrew Association was organized in New York City. Okay. This one I can support, because there's the YMCA, which I don't know when that was, if that was before or after this. Okay.
The YMCA went at first.
Yeah. So then we have the YMHA, the Young Men's Hebrew Association. But now, where's the Islamic one?
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
I don't think they have one yet.
Well, they should. I mean,
they have a YWMCA.
Yeah, but they still want
YWCA.
Yeah, Young Women's Christian Association, but for whatever reason, they still allow girls in the Young Men's one for whatever reason. So, 1888, English Football League was established. 1894, Stanley Cup, Victoria Rink, Montreal, Quebec. Montreal Hockey Club defeated Ottawa HC 3-1 to win 3-team challenge tournament. This was the first, the first Stanley Cup ice hockey competition ever held. Yeah, I don't know why the primary source doesn't tell me that. The secondary source does. 1895, Auguste and Louise Lumière showed their first movie to an invited audience. Before the Société pour l'encouragement à l'industrie, brothers Auguste and Louise Lumière demonstrated the movie film technology publicly for the first time. So eat your heart out, what's his face, Thomas Alva Edison, you fucking thief. He stole credit for everything. 1896, Charlios Valeriskos of Greece won the first modern marathon in 3 hours 18 minutes at the Panhellenic Games. Alright. And I actually have a picture of him right here. And he does not look too happy. It's a small picture, but he looks like he's about to just drop.
Yeah, he's trained.
Yeah, so it's I'm not going to go...
Sure, he's one of those finishes. He's finishing on sure will.
Yeah.
The body is gone.
Well, you'll never catch me on one of those. 1903, U.S. Anthracite Coal Commission, set up by President Theodore Roosevelt, submitted its recommendations for shorter hours, a 10% wage increase, and an open shop. I owe my soul to the company store. 1904, Balindo Revolt ended after almost 2 years in Portuguese victory over Ovembundu Kingdom and allies. 1906, the first England versus France rugby union match was played at Parc des Princes in Paris. 1907, the new Boer government in the Transvaal passed an Asiatic registration bill that restricted immigration from India. That's not nice. 1913, Song Jiaoren, leader of the Chinese Kuomintang Party, was shot at Shanghai railway station, dying 2 days later. This is thought to be orchestrated by Kuomintang President Yuan Shikai. So, as we were talking about yesterday, this would be an assassination because he died of his wounds.
Assassination, yeah.
1913 as well, Mystic Fan Jik Long, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Vietnam, was arrested for organizing a revolt against the colonial rule of French Indochina, which was nevertheless carried out by his supporters the following day. The people are the power. Always. Always, always. 1916, Yuan Shiqi abdicated as Emperor of China, restoring the Republic and returning to the presidency. Well, that's an interesting move right there. He stopped being emperor, but he retained some form of power by being a president, but he reestablished that's like anti Palpatine. Like he reversed Palpatine with that. Well, like Palpatine was a chancellor, and then he became emperor. He orchestrated the Clone Wars. He was behind the whole thing.
Emperor.
Yeah, Star Wars. Darth Sidious.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, 1917, the U.S. was the first nation to recognize the new government of Russia, the communists. That's about the time that the communist uprising was happening, 1917. That's a terrible move, but we didn't. Communism was new, you know. We didn't know how awful it was going to be. 22, the Rand Rebellion in southern Africa, which started as a strike by white mine workers and became an armed rebellion against the state, was brought to a brutal end by the police. I wonder, like, you know, how many people were killed, how many were wounded, like, you know, is there any other semantics involving that? Like, you know, let us know in the comment section. Become part of history, don't just watch it. 1927, Federico Garcia Lorca's first play, El Maleficio, or The Butterfly's Evil Spell, premiered in Madrid. That sounds horrifying. The Butterfly's Evil Spell? Like,
weird.
1929, the U.S. Coast Guard vessel sunk a Canadian schooner suspected of carrying liquor. This was during the Prohibition, 29, so they thought it was a rum running. 1933, FDR signed the Colin-Harrison Act, legalizing the sale of beer and wine with up to 3.2% alcohol. And also, also known as the Volstead Act, legalized the manufacture and sale of 3.2 beer, 3.2% alcohol by weight, approximately 4% alcohol by volume, as well as light wines. It's telling me to image search this. Is your chair squeaky?
No.
I was feeling some kind of vibration or something in the floor.
Been hitting this.
Okay.
Or it could have been, me turning it.
Well, yeah, whatever you're doing right there, that you did, I just felt it again. Golan-Harrison Act was signed by FDR, legalized federally sale, first progress towards repeal, went into effect on April 7th. Cool. 1933, the first Nazi concentration camp at Dachau opened as a camp for political prisoners. So, here's a rugby. Images of the
that's
first.
way back.
Yeah. Not that way back, because like this is Dachau.
Okay.
And it initially was a camp for political prisoners.
Yeah.
You know? So like the Holocaust didn't start off as a Holocaust. It started off as like, they didn't just round up Jews.
Or was it disguised?
Well, like they also rounded up, you know, like the mentally disabled, you know, mentally disturbed, the physically disabled, gypsies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it wasn't just Jews. It was primarily Jews, but they weren't the only people in those. And right here, it all started as political prisoners, you know? And then I look at all the quarantine camps in Australia and everything, and I'm like, well, what's the difference?
Well, I would guess up until the end they were considered political prisoners. That never changed.
True. You have a point with that. 1934, fire destroyed Hakogane, Japan, killing 1,500 and injuring another 1,000. Here we go, another fire. We also have the first Masters tournament was held at Augusta National Golf Club in Georgia. All right. 35, blood test was authorized as evidence in court cases in New York. Yeah,
good.
Blood test, all the way back in 35. Dang. 1939, Lithuania was forced to give Memel territory to Germany. So Germany took Memel from Lithuania. 41, James Stewart was inducted into the Army, becoming the first major U.S. movie star to wear a military uniform in World War II.
Yeah.
And we have
Didn't
another.
know he was the first.
Yeah.
I knew he served.
The first major one, that is.
Yeah.
43, Dutch SS police chief Hans Albin Rauter threatened to kill half Jewish children. So, like, you know, if you're born to, like, a Jewish mother and a Christian father or whatever, you know. Luckily for me, I'm 1/8. But I still think I would have been in the crosshairs. I think they
That's enough.
like, well, no, like, I think they, like, cut it off at either, like, a quarter or an eighth.
Could have been a 16th, that would be my guess.
Maybe. I don't know. Like,
An eighth, yeah, I think you were done.
Probably. No. But 1943, during World War II, the entire village of Khatyn in what is present-day the Republic of Belarus was burnt alive by Shushimashtat Battalion 118. They just flamed the entire town. That's horrible. That is terrifying. And I'm leaving this picture up here because we will be talking about that guy again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep, James Stewart.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that's the same guy?
Yeah.
Huh. What was the angel's name? Like,
Clarence.
Clarence, I want to live again. 1943, Dutch work week extended to 54 hours. Extended. Like, I remember when 60 hours wasn't enough over here in today's world. 43 as well, obligatory work for women ended in Belgium. Good.
Well, extended mean they kicked it up.
Yeah, so
it was less. It went to 54.
I know. What I'm saying is we work more for less today, is my point. 44.
Our basic is a 40-hour work week.
No, it's 60.
No, 40-hour work week. 8 times 5 is 40.
Oh, you're right. 1944, 600 plus 8th Air Force bombers attacked Berlin. That's a lot of bombers there.
Yeah.
44 as well, stadium movie star James Stewart, here we go again, flew in his 12th combat mission, leading the 2nd Bomb Wing in an attack on Berlin.
Yeah, he was somewhat of a hero.
That's, like, I didn't realize that the guy from It's a Wonderful Life, like, now, It's a Wonderful Life was before World War II, right? Like, that was in the 30s? I could have sworn it was in the 30s.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But that's wild to think that he would go on to bomb Germany. I mean,
No. It was after. It was well after.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Had to be late 40s. Late 40s.
46.
Yeah.
Just after the war. So he got back from bombing Berlin and then filmed that. That's a whiplash there. 45, Arab League formed with adoption of a charter in Cairo, Egypt. All right. 45 as well, during World War II, the city of Hildesheim, Germany, was heavily damaged in a British air raid. Though it had little military significance, and Germany was on the verge of final defeat. So that's interesting. Like, you know what? Let me look this up here. U.S. Civil War end. Let's see here. Conclusion. It was November 6th, 1865. Okay, let's keep that up. VE Day, World War II. And this was May 8th. Okay. I was just thinking like both the Civil War and the World War II, at least in Europe, was wrapping up shortly after this moment in time back in those days. So I was like, oh man, like another similarity. That's weird. We also have 46. The first U.S. rocket to leave the Earth's atmosphere flew 50 miles up. That's high. 46 as well. Britain signed a treaty granting independence to Jordan, granting full independence to Transjordan. Okay. What's the difference between Jordan and Transjordan?
I have no. Came out of the closet? I don't know.
Actually, no. Is it turning into Jordina? If it's Transjordan? Oh, I don't know. 54, closed since 1939, the London bullion market reopened. We covered that yesterday, I believe. 54 as well, Northland Center, the world's largest shopping mall at the time, opened in Oak Park, Michigan. And we actually have a photo of that from the air. Look at that. That's a huge parking lot.
That is huge.
Yeah. But that mall itself doesn't look that big.
That's a pretty big mall.
Yeah, it is. What's with this huge building in the middle, though?
Yeah, it looks like it'd be 2 or 3 stories.
Easily 3. Because if this is 1 story, even,
That could be 2 stories. I don't know.
I'm trying to judge by the size of the car.
It looks like 1 story around it.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 1957, I'm All Shook Up was a single released by Elvis Presley. And at that same time, and I wonder if this was related somehow, an earthquake shook San Francisco on the same date, same year, same date. That's weird.
All shook up.
Well, San Fran got all shook up. They're all like, 57, a United States Air Force aircraft disappeared with all 67 people on board somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. Just somewhere. Okay, well, the Pacific Ocean is a big ocean. Somewhere where? Like, are we talking?
I think isn't the Pacific Ocean the biggest ocean?
I believe it is. 1960, the first patent for lasers was granted to Arthur Schwalwell and Charles Towns. Cool. Lasers. Let's image search this really quick here. And what's this other image? Okay, we're going to get to that. Yeah, that's a nuclear disaster. Okay, what else? What's here? So if anybody wants to see, like, a schematic of the laser, whatever it is, this is their blueprint. So, focusing beams of light. 1963, the Beatles released their first album, Please Please Me. 1965, U.S. confirmed its troops used chemical warfare against the Viet Cong. But did we suffer any consequences for breaking, our own set,
I think
rules
that was
of warfare?
napalm is what we used.
Well, no, we used all sorts of things other than napalm.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
It's the only thing I'm aware of. But
Agent Orange?
Isn't that napalm?
No. Agent Orange was a chemical thing that we just sprayed, and it was a killer.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, napalm is a jellied gasoline.
Yeah, I know what napalm is.
Yeah, no,
So
Agent
Orange we use, yes.
And you want to know something really, really despicable? Agent Orange was developed by Monsanto, which is the world's largest pesticide company. They made Roundup and everything. And funny that I mentioned that because Roundup is literally Agent Orange, just with a slightly different chemical composition. So whenever you spray Roundup on something, you're spraying weed kill. You're spraying a freaking war crime chemical on there, and all of a sudden, all these people are getting cancer from using Roundup. Gee, I wonder why. We need to chase Monsanto out of this world. 1968, Lyndon Johnson was ordered off San Francisco cable car for eating an ice cream cone.
What?
Yeah, I told you about this earlier. Remember?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Now I'm going to image search this. Okay, you can see I selected all this, copy paste. So I'm just looking up this article. Okay, I click images. Okay, I'm getting like cable cars. Cable car. Joe Biden. What? Why do I have? What the hell? I'm getting all these pictures of Biden. What does he have to do with any of this other than the ice cream cone, dude? This is ridiculous.
Wow.
1969. Ethiopian double Olympic marathon gold medalist Abebe Bekele, at the age of 36, was paralyzed in an auto accident near Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. She did regain her upper body mobility, but she never walked again. At least she survived.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he survived. Okay, I couldn't tell. Abebe.
Yeah. It's hard to tell by name.
Yeah. Well, I don't know Ethiopian names, so. 1970, Blood Red Roses opened and closed at John Golden Theater in New York City. Obviously wasn't good. 1972, in Eisenstadt v. Baird, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that unmarried people have the same right to contraception as married people. I don't know, man. You gotta stop. We gotta stop having laws that alleviate people of their personal responsibility because, now we're just leaving it up to Big Daddy government to tell us, as if we're 3 years old. Oh, mommy, may I please use the toilet? You're a grown-ass person. Have some self-responsibility.
But shouldn't people that don't want to marry, for whatever reason, have the same rights when it comes to children?
You can just not have sex. When it comes to laws like
That's
this...
That's easily said, but people do.
Well, I don't want my fucking tax dollars going to people who can't keep it in their goddamn pants.
No, they could be, just because they're not married doesn't mean they're not a couple.
No, what I'm saying is, married or unmarried, it doesn't matter. If you're not ready to have a kid, then just don't do the deed. It's that simple. Have some responsibility for yourself. It's not that hard. It really isn't. 1972, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was named NBA MVP.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Arlene, if you're watching this, I'm sorry for the GDI. It just when it comes to stuff like this, it just really drives me up a wall. How responsibility is just a thing of the past these days. 1972, U.S. Congress approved the Equal Rights Amendment, still not ratified, according to our primary source, which is probably bullshit, knowing they're leftist. The United States Congress sent the Equal Rights Amendment to the states for ratification. I wonder if it has been ratified. If anybody knows or can find that out, please let us know in the comment section. 1975, a fire at the Browns Ferry nuclear power plant in Decatur, Alabama, caused dangerous lowering of cooling water levels. Why do we have anything sophisticated like this in the South?
Why not?
Because it's the South.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm from the South, and I'm an idiot. Okay? Exhibit A.
Oh,
all right?
Come on.
Are you going to trust me with the nuclear power
You
plant?
have just insulted your entire audience from the South.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
No. 1977, Indira Gandhi resigned as Prime Minister of India. 1978, Carl Walenda, German acrobat of the Flying Walendas, died after falling off a tightrope between two hotels in San Juan, Puerto Rico, at the age of 73.
2 hotels. He's up in the air.
Yeah, well, what are you doing, at 73? Dude, just stop. God made her stop, so, but, at 73, you shouldn't be doing that crap. I don't care how much you love it. You're 73. Stop it. 1979, Israeli Parliament approved a peace treaty with Egypt. That's surprising. 79 as well, the Provisional Irish Republican Army exploded 24 bombs in various locations across Northern Ireland. 81, Soyuz 39 carried 2 cosmonauts. One was Mongolian to Salyut 6. Oh, no, great. Now the Mongols are conquering space. There's no stopping them.
Right. They're not conquering it. They hitched a ride.
Well, until they can send themselves up there. So. 82, Iran offensive against Iraq. I just found that rather, topical with what's going on today. It's kind of related. 84, Islander Brian Trottier tied NHL record series 5 seconds in the game. Record scores. Tying the NHL record, scored 5 seconds into the game. Wow. That's crazy. 1984, teachers at the McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California, are charged with satanic ritual abuse of the children in the school. The charges were later dropped as completely unfounded. I don't know.
Remember that. Really
Well, with how things are today, I would reopen this case because I wouldn't be surprised if they really were doing satanic stuff. So, something that's interesting. What does Los Angeles mean?
City of Angels.
Okay. What have I been saying about is when the devil was first cast out of heaven, he didn't fall to hell, he fell to the earth. And what was the devil? He was an angel, and he also came to earth with 33 angels or something.
I don't know.
We're in the city of angels. This is probably where he fell. Seriously, no, he probably actually fell here. This is probably ground zero. The city of angels, the fallen angel. You look at Hollywood, you look at Disney. Things are starting to add up in ways I don't like. 1986, On My Own, single released by Patti LaBelle and Michael McDonald, Billboard Song of the Year in 1986. 2 names, You're Not On Your Own, You Liar.
Patti LaBelle, I haven't heard her name in a long time.
But how can you release a song called On My Own with 2 people involved in it? Then you're not on your own, now are you?
Well,
yeah. It's false advertisements.
No,
false
you're
advertisements.
singing a song, those are the words.
But you can't sing a song.
It's a duet.
How the hell is it a duet if it's talking about on your own? That makes no sense. 86, Hearts, These Dreams. The single went on #1. And he had this song here. If I can find it. If this... Does this sound familiar? Stop. There we go. I don't want to copyright. This is already in the underbar section here. So if you want to watch that, it's a good song. I'm surprised you don't remember that.
No, I don't.
88, U.S. Congress overrode President Reagan's veto of sweeping civil rights bill, the Civil Rights Restoration Act of 1987. Okay. 89, why did he veto that? Let me look at that.
They overrode it.
Oh, yeah.
He vetoed it and they overrode it.
But why did he veto it?
I don't know. He didn't like something in it.
I mean, there's probably some, small sentence in there that's, weird, but, you know what? Hold on a second. Why did Reagan veto Civil Rights Act? Why did Reagan... Civil Rights Act, yada. Congress over veto. Oh, this is going to require some digging. So if anybody can let us know in the comments section, please tell us. 89, Clint Malarchuk of the Buffalo Sabres suffered a near-fatal injury when another player accidentally cut his throat.
Oh.
That has to be hockey.
Yeah.
Ice hockey.
With a skate.
Yeah. Do you remember that? Did you see that video from 2020, 2021, 2022?
Like a sack of potatoes?
No, not the guy who got slit in the neck. The other guy who got kicked in the face by the black guy who was a BLM something, and he did it out of hatred towards whites or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, he
Nothing
kicked.
to do with hockey.
Oh no, it was ice hockey.
Oh.
It was ice. He kicked him in the face. He had a helmet on, so it didn't impact. And this is the second, or he had done this before and everything, but he straight up reared up and squared it with the ice with the skate out into the blade out into the other guy's face.
Wow.
And he did it for racial reasons because his victim was white and the kicker was black. All this BLM crap. What else do we got here? 1989, Pete Rozelle announced retirement as NFL commissioner after 29 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, he's there a long time.
We also have U.S. Supreme Court upheld one person, one vote rule of New York City Board of Estimate. Now, remember I've been talking to you about how corporations and such have rights to vote? I want to read this to you. Lawmakers in Delaware, and this is from 2023, and this is for something in 3 seconds of research I found this. They have approved legislation authorizing a small town in the southern part of the state to allow business entities, including corporations and limited liability companies, to vote in municipal elections.
Wow.
This is what I've been talking about. Like big corporate, like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, all that stuff. They have the ability to vote in presidential elections. Jeff Bezos effectively
presidential elections.
Not this. I'm telling you by extension. Like this is just one example. If you look this up yourself, I don't tell you these things in hopes that you believe me. I tell you these things in hopes that you look it up and figure it out yourself. But these mega corporations and everything, people like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, not only can they, as an individual U.S. citizen, vote in the ballot, but then they can vote on behalf of their company. They vote twice. They vote twice. You need to understand that.
First off, you have to be registered in that state. It's
not if you're a company.
Yes. You can't vote in a state.
Dad, I'm not telling you this to argue with you. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Then look it up yourself. But I'm telling you that corporations vote twice. So, anyway, what else do we got here? Oh, yeah. Whoops. I screwed that up. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can open up my history. There it is. I'm going to add this. Hold on a second. History to the underbar section. If you would like to read up on this yourself. Corporations votes. So there we go. What else do we got here? Get rid of that. We're going to get there. 1992, U.S. Air NY to Cleveland crashed on takeoff at LaGuardia. 27 people died, leading to a number of studies into the effect that ice has on aircraft. It took until 1992 to figure out how to study that? Are you kidding me? Like, of course ice, frozen water that expands, water that is heavy, is going to have an effect on something that's trying to get off the ground.
Well, that's what physics
planes. Yeah, but like, why in 1992 did this lead to a number of studies into the effect that ice has on an aircraft? Why do we not know this by 92 is what I'm asking.
Let me tell you how it's going to work, and you can save the study.
Stupid.
Yeah, that ice is going to be hard to get off the ground.
Yeah. 92, the Democratic Party of Albania won a decisive majority in the parliamentary election, causing the fall of communism in Albania.
Oh, that's a biggie.
93.
Where that was going, yeah.
Yep, 93. Intel produces Pentium processor 80586, 64-bit, 60 MHz, 100 plus MIPS. I don't know what the hell that means. It's a data path or something, so cool. 94. Dutch ambassador to the U.S. christened a new tulip, the Hillary Clinton. What? Hillary
again?
Dutch ambassador to the U.S. christened a new tulip. And you know how the Netherlands with their tulips, But they created a new tulip and named it the Hillary Clinton. So, it's very odd. And is that
they wanted to honor her for some reason?
I don't know why anybody would want to honor that psychopath. 94, Iraqi-British architect Zaha Hadid was the first woman to win architecture's Pritzker Prize. Awesome. We also have South African government and ANC, the African National Convention, took power in Siski homeland. Cool. 95, cosmonaut Valery Polyev returned to Earth after setting a record of 438 days in space.
Yeah.
That's over a year.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. I wonder if that had any permanent adverse effect on their bones and muscle density,
I've never heard results because I know I'm sure they check them too. But I know they check our astronauts on long-term space stuff.
And remember we covered this the other day. They had those twins and they send Wood up into space and he got enough solar radiation to alter his DNA to a point where they're no longer DNA twins.
You tell me about that. Yeah.
Well, no, we covered the article the other day.
Yeah.
I've told you about it over, a couple of times throughout our lives, but yeah. 97, Comet Halley-Bob, closest approach to Earth at 1.315 AU astronomical units. an astronomical unit is the distance between the sun to the Earth.
Didn't know that.
So it came like farther away from Earth than the sun is. So 1.3. So 1.25 plus change distance.
Yeah.
You know.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah. 97, and I think that's the one we saw in Mexico when I was a kid, 97. Because I remember seeing a comet one time when we were in Mexico.
Yes, we could see it down
and it wasn't Halley's, because Halley's was way before that. And so that only comes, every 70 years?
This one called?
Haley Bob. There's Halley's Comet.
That probably was.
Yeah, that's probably because
you would have been 10 years old. Yeah.
I'd be 10 and change right now. So. 97 as well. Tara Lipinski became the youngest women's world figure skating champion at 14 years and 9 months old. Whoa! Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Or young lady, I guess.
Yeah.
2004, Ahmed Yassin, the co-founder and leader of the Palestinian Sunni Islamist militant group Hamas, and bodyguards were killed in the Gaza Strip by Israeli Air Force AH-64 Apache-fired Hellfire missiles. And they also killed 9 civilians. So, yep. 2006, ETA, armed Basque separatist group, declared permanent ceasefire. No idea what that is, but cool. 2006 as well, 3 Christian peacemaker teams, hostages, were freed by British forces in Baghdad after 118 days captivity and the death of their colleague, U.S. Tom Fox. Kind of sort of remember that. Tom Fox. Very vaguely familiar. 2009, Mount Redoubt, a volcano in Alaska, began erupting after a prolonged period of unrest. 2010, NASA's rover Spirit got caught in a sand trap on Mars and ceased communications with Earth. I remember that.
Sand trap.
Yeah. Was it golfing or something?
Yeah.
2012, Australia's most wanted man, Malcolm Naden, was captured after 7 years on the run in Gloucester, New South Wales.
How did they catch him that far down the road?
I don't know, but I don't think he could have gotten out of the country, So, because it's Australia. Yeah. What are you going to do? Swim? In shark and alligator infested waters with the man of war's freaking like jellyfish and those stingrays and everything. Australia wants to kill everything. It's crazy. The wildlife, that is, like just nature. In 2012, largest protests in Quebec's history occurred in Montreal with over 200,000 people marching against government tuition hikes and for free access to post-secondary education. Up yours. You don't get free access to anything. If you want to do anything in this world, you got to pay up. 2012, a massive fire devoured thousands of hectares of ancient forests and threatened wildlife in Mount Kenya. That has to be in Africa somewhere, yeah. 2013, 37 people were killed and 200 additional were injured in a refugee campfire in Ban Mae, Thailand. That's terrible. 2013, U.S. rock band My Chemical Romance announced their breakup. I remember them.
Do you?
I remember the name. So I don't remember any one of their songs.
Of, rock and roll music at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of them. I don't know any of their songs. I don't know who their members were. I just heard the name.
Yeah.
Like the Beatles. I know of the Beatles, but I don't know. Like George Harrison, right, was a name.
Yeah, of
like
course.
That's the only name that.
Ringo Starr.
Okay, yeah, that's right. No, but see, I couldn't give a fiddler's fuck, about celebrities. I really don't. 2014, the U.S. and EU imposed sanctions on Russia. Is that to do with the Ukraine thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not.
2014.
That's before Ukraine.
Well, I mean, like Russia was. Oh, wait. They just annexed Crimea.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Crimea.
In 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why they're getting.
They got away with it.
Well, that's probably why they're getting the sanctions here.
Yeah.
27. No, 20. Yeah, here we go. Arctic recorded its lowest ever winter ice cover, according to U.S. National Snow and Ice Data Center, 5.5 million square miles. Okay.
So they're low on ice.
Yeah. 2017, the Tomb of Jesus reopened after restoration in Jerusalem. Just makes me wonder, like,
how to restore the tomb.
Well,
jeez.
No, like they had to go in and make sure to like wipe it of everything. So, I don't know what they left over, but I don't think it's anything. 2017, Syrian civil war. 500 members of the Syrian Democratic Forces, the SDF, were airlifted south of the Euphrates. Oh yeah, the Euphrates. I screwed spelling that up. By United States Air Force helicopters, beginning the Battle of Tapqua. 2018, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California has 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic and increasing rapidly according to new research. Okay, so go after China and India.
It's an interesting deal I saw on this just not too long ago. They're still trying to harvest all that stuff out of the sea, but now what they have determined,
the microplastics, it's just not going to happen. It's too much.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but and this is all privately funded, I believe. It's not a government, but now they've designated it's like 7 major river outlets that contribute like 99% of the plastic. So they're trapping as it comes before it gets in the ocean.
Ah. Okay. I've seen a video of that, like a big old net thing, and it just captures. That's awesome.
Well, there's also doing it out at sea too.
Well, yeah, but if you stop it from before it gets out there, then you don't have to worry. 2018 as well, U.S. President Donald Trump imposed a $60 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese imports. Good. Hit them harder. Tariff the fuck out of China. Make them bleed. 2019, mind-blowing discovery announced of 518 million year old fossil site near Danshu River, Hubei Province, China, with thousands of unknown fossils well preserved. But then again, it's China. It can all be a bullshit lie, knowing them. 2019, U.S. Special Counsel Robert S. Mueller, the Mueller Report, here we go, submitted his findings on the 2016 election, the Mueller Report, to Deputy U.S. Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and U.S. Attorney William Barr. 2020, India put 1 billion people under a daytime curfew to curb Kung Flu. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the country's largest ever self-imposed curfew in an effort to fight the spread of the Kung Flu. Greece's Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis did the same, as well as imposed a lockdown. And we have 2020, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Was this the guy that we killed?
Yes.
Okay. Refused the U.S. COVID-19 help, referred to conspiracy theory that it was manufactured by the U.S. No, it was a joint operation between the U.S. and China to ensure the entire world gets fucked.
How do you put us as a joint operation?
Well, because the whole world is connected.
It came out of the Wuhan lab or something.
Yeah, but who was behind that? Fauci.
Well, he put money in it.
Yeah, it's a combination.
Which he denied.
Well, of course he does.
And what he had done is given it to his other people to bring it around. So, a bunch of crap.
2021, Evanston, Illinois voted to become the first U.S. city to pay reparations to black residents for past discriminations and effects of slavery, giving $400,000 to each household. Wow.
Yeah. What state is this?
Illinois. Evanston, Illinois. So, the city.
I'm just so adamantly opposed to. They tried to do that in California.
Yeah.
We never were a slave state.
Yeah, no, but they it's not about reparations. It's not about doing what's right. It's about punishing white people for being white. That's what it's about. 2021, sanctions imposed on Chinese officials over rights abuses against Uyghurs in China by EU, UK, US, and Canada. Yeah, and it's still going on. Nobody's even talking about the Uyghurs anymore. No. 2021, world's largest painting, The Journey of Humanity, by British artist Sacha Jaffery, sold in Dubai for $62 million to raise funds for children's charities. Yeah, but how much of that actually went to the charities? But look at this.
Whoa.
There's a guy right there. You see him?
Oh, yes.
Just laying down. Yeah, it's huge. But let's see. Hold on a second.
I'd like to see a good picture of that. That's
I'm trying to find one here. There's a guy standing up. Yeah, but I don't think you can get one picture. Actually, here we go. Look at the size of that thing. There's a guy right there. So, it's a huge painting. Yeah. In 2022, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, or AKA Justin Castro, his Liberal Party reached a deal with opposition New Democratic Party to stay in power until 2025. Yeah. And his replacement now is somehow even worse. By the way, I heard that Merkel is coming back to Germany.
Really?
According to Creative.
Oh.
He told me that Angela Merkel's coming back. I'm like, no, why? Didn't you people learn your lesson already? 2022.
Is he happy with that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You never know. I don't know.
Well, he's aware.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's too young to have to be aware. But a lot of kids these days are unfortunately, so. 2022, Louisiana Governor Jean Bel Edwards declared a state of emergency after tornadoes tore through New Orleans suburbs, killing at least one person. I wouldn't say that's state of emergency, worthy, but okay. We also have microplastics found in human blood for the first time through new research conducted at Vrije Universiteit Amsterdam in the Netherlands. This scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because now there's microplastics small enough to pass through the blood-brain barrier, and chances are, I mean, even if you live in the third world and bumfuck Egypt, you know, like, you're going to have just crap floating in the air, the stuff in the water. Eventually it's going to pollute the entire world. There's probably, like, you know, like some microplastics in all of our brains. Like, you know, 1,000 years from now, they're going to dig us up and find a little disc or something where it all congealed. I don't know. 2023 Abel Prize for Mathematics, equivalent to a Nobel Prize, awarded to Argentinian U.S. Luis Caffarelli for his work in partial differential equations. That's awesome. We also have U.S. Library Association said 2022 had highest number of calls to censor library books in the U.S. in over 20 years, with 2,571 titles affected, up to 38%, with LGBTQ plus books most requested. Yeah, because they're targeting children.
So these were banned books? Is what
No, these were requests to ban books.
Oh, okay.
To censor and everything. Well,
Sorry.
because the
Against
Alphabet
that.
Mafia were targeting children.
I get it. I'm still
You know?
against the banning. I just am.
It's not a banning, Dad. It's a censorship.
Or censorship, whatever you want to call it. It's not banned, yes.
Well, when it's a children's book that goes into detail about intercourse, ban that. I don't care. There's no use out of that. You know, like.
No, I agree with that, but I'm not. You can't ban it. You don't have to buy it and put it on your shelf.
No.
Maybe that's what they need, but you know,
No, whatever
I think they have every right to print it.
Yeah, well, something needs to be done. You know, because
I agree with that. It's horrible.
At the end of the day, somebody's going to be infringing on somebody's rights, and you know, if certain groups and everything get their way, people like you and I, we won't have rights. We will probably be executed. So
What it really falls down to is diligent parents knowing what your school is going to let your children look at.
why be a diligent parent when you rely on the government to overlook everything?
That's the one you want to rely on.
Well, I'm not saying that is, but that's why I'm saying, like, everything in today's, it's all government. You know, nobody has personal responsibility. They've outsourced everything to the government.
Do. Parents
They're
have
supposed to.
responsibility.
They're
Not
supposed
supposed to. They do. If they don't do it, they're bad parents.
Then the majority of parents in this country are bad.
Well,
They are.
says you.
So says facts, because there's so many laws that alleviate them of such responsibility that they can you know go to a court of
No
law.
law alleviates you from being a parent. You are a parent. You take care of the goodwill of your children.
You're not getting my
Whatever
point.
they got. I do. I got your point.
Anyway, 2023 U.S. software engineer Bob Metcalfe was awarded Computing's Turing Award for developing Ethernet, a computer networking system now the industry standard. Nice. We also have former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, the disheveled-looking British Donald Trump. There he is. Was grilled by Government Privileges Committee over whether he intentionally misled Parliament over Kung Flu rule breaches by his administration. That's, I think, when they caught him having a party in his backyard.
Something like that.
No.
Yeah.
And then all he did was apologize for it, and he got away with it. No, they need to string him up by his thumbs at the very least. You don't want to know what I'd like to be done. 2023, Microsoft founder Bill Gates said development of artificial intelligence, AI, is the most important technological advance since the graphical user interface, GUI, in 1980. Yeah, sure, because he's trying to depopulate the planet.
Well, I can't argue with what he's saying there.
Well, no,
it is the most important thing.
No, it's not. It's only important because of what it will do for people like him.
That's why we can't let it into individuals' hands.
It shouldn't be existing.
You can't stop that.
It's a path of technology that we don't need to go down.
Until
is what I'm saying.
Somebody else does, then you're screwed.
2023, new DNA analysis of composer Ludwig van Beethoven's hair revealed he probably died of cirrhosis of the liver and hepatitis B, but doesn't explain his deafness. 2024, British runner Jasmine Paris was the first woman and 20th person to complete one of the world's hardest ultramarathons, the Barkley Marathons in Tennessee, with 1 minute and 39 seconds to spare. You go, girl. Wow. Not her, but where is she? Oh. Why the fuck does stupid Kate Middleton get her picture up here, but this badass of a woman does not? That's bullshit. Fuck Kate Middleton. 2024 terrorist attack on Croatia's City Hall in Moscow during a concert killed 137. The Islamic State group claimed responsibility.
Yep.
It says here from the other source at least 145 people were killed and 551 injured in a bombing and mass shooting at the Korka City Hall in Krasnogorsk, Russia. And that shall conclude the show. I made it with just a few seconds to spare here. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion of 2 sources. This past hour, everything that we've gone through, that's just like a little bit. So, please check our sources.
Good stuff today.
Yeah. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 p.m. Standard Time, respectively. Check the underbar. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, VRU. Thank you so much for coming in and watching us. And until you come back next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!